Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt, the Game Boy, take you through the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one card at a time. This week we'll be wrapping up July since with the Smurfs Travel the World. So after playing Game Boy games for as long as I have, I have a surefire litmus test you can try out to spot a bad game. It's a simple method that can be done very quickly and could, if you're trying out the game pre-purchase, save you a little bit of money. This litmus test is this. How many times do you die in the first level? Now, I know there are situations like Mega Man and Gargoyle's Quest where what I'm narcissistically going to coin as Boyle's Law would rob you of a perfectly good gaming experience. However, most of the time, it's going to save you from putting things like the Smurfs Travel the World into your Game Boy and making your DMG all dirty. As you see, this particular Smurfs title, while published by Infogrames, isn't actually developed by the fine folks at Bit Managers who did the first Smurfs title, but by another developer called Virtual Studios, who, in all honesty, seem to have made very little else. Taking its story from the 9th and final season of the Smurfs cartoon, the game opens with a cutscene informing the player that the magical crystal is broken, so Smurf and Smurfette get teleported through time and all around the world. There they will discover the whole world's polluted and set off to find the 21 crystals in each area to tidy up the trash and head home. A corny premise, yes, but as good as any excuse I suppose for collecting items in a rudimentary licensed platformer. Except, well, the game isn't really as cookie cutter as it might seem. Right off the bat, after deciding whether to play as Smurf or Smurfette, you're going to start the first level and you're going to head right, jump, and expect there to be a platform to land on. Except, well, there isn't one. So you die and think, oh wow, I need to scroll left? How interesting! But wrong again. You need to go left, climb a tree, and then travel right by blindly jumping off the back of a bird and pray that you land on a platform. Thus begins a tedious travel filled with irritating enemies, poor platforming, and almost indistinguishable environmental hazards that will have you tearing your hair out. The general abuse you're going to suffer as a player has very little offset in terms of rewarding experience, and this is true for the game's 6 locations: Africa, the North Pole, Asia, North and South America, before you eventually end up down under. What you will find in this Smurfs outing though is a lot of variety in the platforming. Your adventure will see you swimming, swinging and sliding around as Visual Studios do, to their credit, mix up the gameplay. From bouncing off of crocodiles, climbing across vines and auto-scrolling levels, the Smurfs too really likes to mix it up. I might go so far as to say this is where the game really shines, but well, despite how great the variety can be, its level design isn't something to send a postcard back to Papa Smurf about. The collection of crystals sees you searching through the maze-like levels in order to progress. This would be fine if there were at least some kind of logical order for their locations. However, with some of the more open-ended levels, you're going to see yourself backtracking a hell of a lot to find them, which would be fine if the enemies weren't so bloody cheap. It's 5 hits and you're dead affair, with the additional scrap of health being very limited. Unfortunately, these hearts of health aren't even refilled by progressing to the next level, meaning the Smurfs too can be a real fight to survive. Of course, dying means restarting the whole level from scratch, which is a complete pain. To pour salt on the wounds though, each area has 3 stages of collecting to do and you only have 3 lives. Losing them all means game over. No continue, just a cold restart from which you must learn from your failures and try again. Fortunately though, there is one shining beacon of hope in the form of a password system. After beating one area, you'll get a password that will see you through the next inevitable game over. There's also the wonderful option, if you're looking to experience the game without the stress it brings, of inputting the code VFZF. This password will allow you at any time to pause the game and press B to automatically refill your health and lives, as well as pressing A and start to skip a level. If you're not into cheating, however, extra lives can be gained by collecting 55 pieces of trash scattered around each level. I also believe there's a bonus level in the game for collecting all of them, but I never saw them because I'm a dirty cheater. However, perhaps the biggest letdown about this game is its graphics. I mean, it doesn't really look too bad at all for a Game Boy game at the surface level, but the level of detail really does become a problem in the later stages. This is down to one simple fact, of course, that the game wasn't only designed for the Game Boy, but for the Master System and Game Gear, two systems that have full colour. This, of course, also explains in hindsight why a lot of the game feels a little bit messy, but surely Visual Studios could have reduced the complexity a little rather than shoving this port out the door as is. The Smurfs Travel the World really could have been a much better game with a few little tweaks. By toning down the graphics, increasing the health pickups, and offering the player a continue or two, it would really make it that much more bearable. But even then, I fear it wouldn't be more than an average title. Pick it up if you're interested, but as it's a European-only game, maybe it's just worth giving this one a miss unless you're after a full set. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. It also marks the end of July-sence. Boo. But it does mean that next week I will be back with another exciting, actually first-party title for the first time in a long time. If you're looking forward to that, then please subscribe to the channel and encourage others you think may be interested to do so. If you're new to the channel, as I know some of you are thanks to Banjo Guy Ollie, then please check out some more of our Boyographic videos where I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one card at a time. You can also check out some Boy Curious videos where I look at bootlegs and oddities for the system, as well as checking out some All the Glory videos where I play through a game, cut out all the deaths, leaving you with none of the faff but all of the glory. Until next week, Game Boys and Girls, where I will be back with my favourite title for the Nintendo Game Boy. Game on.